Microwave meals? Check. Sleep deprived? Check. Unhealthy amounts of gaming hours? Check. Which means we've done it, and here we go. Hello and welcome to my hopefully not too sloppy Druid Showcase for Diablo IV Open Beta. Quick disclaimer before we begin, I would like to reiterate that this is still just the beta and plenty of changes are likely to unfold by the time we hit full release. Obviously, level 25s aren't going to be walking around kitted in full legendaries, and this is just a fraction of the potential for builds and the ways classes can perform. But I do love seeing big numbers and pushing the limits, and I wanted to see what we could do. So I'll start off with just a little bit of my druid leveling experience, followed by the build we landed on, and then the legendaries that are making it happen. Starting off, I gotta say, Druid has been a blast. They have a plethora of options as far as builds go, and I wanted to try so many different things, but of course time is of the essence, so we had to stick with something. I wanted to level fairly quickly, and I was looking primarily at abilities that I thought would be good for progressing while leveling. As cool as their shifting abilities are for Werewolf and Werebear, I was actually a lot more interested in the caster side of their kit. Right out of the gate, I thought Windshear looked good as a reliable builder, as it seems to generate the most spirit once you've got 3 points in it, as well as when you've got multiple things to hit, which will be pretty much all the time. Reading through the core skills and their bonuses, I thought Landslide sounded really cool, and it looked like it had some pretty hefty damage to bring to the table as well. Following that, I knew we needed a bit more to make sure we could survive and get through bosses, which led me to Bloodhowl and Earthen Bulwark. These skills ended up being two very reliable oh shit buttons. Can't go wrong with heals and shields when you're running around trying to throw rocks at people and not step in the fire. Those four skills ended up being pretty much the core build of my leveling progress, and I played around with slots 5 and 6, sometimes replacing and trying out different builders and spenders, but these are largely what I stuck to. All of that in the bag, we hit 25 pretty easily, and it felt like a pretty good pace, and then we naturally jumped right into theorizing builds around some of these sweet, sweet legendaries. Jumping right in, here's a quick preview of the gear I was working with by the time I started putting together this video. I was excited to see what kind of aspects would land on Druid legendaries, and I definitely caved in for all of the hard damage increases. I was trying to get as many as possible in as short a time as possible, and it worked out pretty well, other than me trolling the shit out of myself by fully upgrading some gloves and then imprinting the aspect on a different pair in my bags that had the same icon on it, with terrible stats. That aside, we still did some popping off and saw some chunky numbers, and this is the build I was working with. So we start off with our builder Windshear, making sure to pick up its bonuses, mainly for the additional spirit generation at the end there. We come right on down to our core spender Landslide, while also picking up its 2 additional points for immobilizing and getting chunky crits. We're going to be critting a lot. And then we move right down to Bloodhowl. I got really used to using it, and I liked that when you put the additional points in, it also generates spirit, which was usually enough to secure an extra quick cast of Landslide. And here's where it gets a little bit weird. So, I didn't actually go any further down the tree for the ultimate skills. Some of them I thought were a little bit underwhelming, but mainly I thought I could bank really hard on a specific legendary that I picked up, which you may have noticed already on my gear back there. And I got some pretty crazy results with it. These are where all the points pretty much end right here for our level 25 adventure in what I'm going to call Zoo Landslide. We get Ravens and Spec 2 points in to guarantee vulnerable. We take Vine Creeper, also with 2 points in it to guarantee immobilize. Also a great safety tool. And we finish up with a point in Wolves for the bodies, followed lastly by some passive damage amp for Landslide. So we slapped all our legendary aspects on the best gear we had at the time for more synergies, and tried to max out whatever bonuses I had, and it ended up looking a bit like this. So there we have it. Not quite Barb numbers, but if we had a bit more time, I'm sure we could get close. Thanks for watching. Hit me with a thumbs up if you had a good time, and as long as time permits, I'll try to be back with some Necro content. Have a good one. Peace out.